sports, home of the Olympic Games, the Premier League, NASCAR, the PGA Tour, and Primetime's #1 show, Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football, man. You ought to be already hyped.
Showtime.
Charlie George, bring it up. Man, that butt whooping.
Prime time.
Sunday Night Football. That's what stars are for.
Games begin.
Great teamwork. Waiting all day for Sunday night. Let's get it. The Chiefs won the AFC West. To 7-10 to the end zone. Oh, baby, how big is that?
When I lose, this is my moment you will not forget. This is for history. I am the future.
He's going in.
The top is my target.
Tie in round 1. On the run. On the money.
Do it again.
Picked off. The Jags are going to win it.
Let the games begin. It's showtime. Prime time. Let the games begin.
Ain't no reason to be scared now. That's the fun part.
Meaningful football in the NFC.
I was born to win.
Play together.
It's showtime. Like prime time. Let the games begin.
Come on.
It's showtime.
And those two guys, Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne, will be chasing down Daniel Jones tonight. Jones, the Giants, his squad, they got off to a hot start this season, but they've won just one of their last 6, and even so, still they hold one of the NFC's final 2 playoff spots, along with the Commanders, who've rallied under their quarterback, Taylor Heineke. Hello, welcome to Week 15 primetime football night in America. Maria Taylor alongside Tony Dungy and Jason Garrett, and it's a great game to have in primetime. 2 teams that are 7-5-1. They tied it in December 4th, and really, if you look at the box score, those stats were almost identical. What do you think could be the difference here tonight, Coach?
Well, I think it's going to have to be Daniel Jones, that quarterback we just saw. Washington has a great defensive line. He's going to have to use his legs to make plays tonight.
No doubt about it. I love Daniel Jones, but kudos to these 2 head coaches, Brian Daboll and Ron Rivera. Think about where these teams have been.
Yeah.
And for them to be playing a meaningful game in the middle of December for playoff implications, I think it's huge. And you know this better than anybody, Coach. Being a head coach in the NFL, first and foremost, it's a leadership position. These guys have been great leaders for their franchises.
And they've got both of their squads fighting for that wild card berth in the NFC, as are the Detroit Lions. And let's go ahead to them, because that's what matters to you today, Coach. The Lions rallying and beating the Jets.
Yes, I grew up in Michigan, and I'm going to say something I didn't know if I'd be able to say in my lifetime. The Lions are playoff contenders.
Let's go.
They have been great on offense, explosive all year. But the thing that I like, Aaron Glenn has got that defense now, so they're making plays in crunch time. They came up with big plays today to shut down the Jets when they needed to.
They've won 6 of their last 7, and that is great. But how about the comeback by the Jags today, Jason?
Yeah, how about the Jags? Trevor Lawrence was fantastic throughout. They make a big interception in overtime. They stunned the Cowboys. Wow.
Oh, it hurts you to say that, doesn't it?
Okay, Coach, I know your feelings were hurt, Jason, but there was a big comeback on Saturday, too, with the team you might have been familiar with at one point in time.
Yes, and we've seen a lot of comebacks. We've seen all these teams with big leads and then kind of fall apart in the second half. It hurts me as a coach to see that, and especially my old Colts.
Yeah, congratulations to the Vikings on that huge win. But with that, we send it over to Chris Sims for some of the standout plays we've seen so far today.
Yeah, we had some standout plays from quarterbacks across the league. And Jason Garrett was just talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, what they did to his old squad, the Dallas Cowboys. Down 27-10. Well, you want to make a 17-point comeback, you got to score fast, you got to score touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence reminding everybody why he was the #1 pick in the draft a few years ago. Big plays to win this football game against the Dallas Cowboys. Then it's just a normal Sunday, and we're talking about Magic Man again with one of the plays of the day. They say don't throw it late over the middle. I don't know, coaches, does this count as late over the middle or to the other side of the field?
Late with one of your feet on the ground either.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar jump hook pass there. And then here's the hottest combination in football. I mean, Jalen Hurts, deep balls to A.J. Brown every week for big plays. Slow start, that got them going big time by the Eagles.
All right, good stuff, Chris. Let's bring in the Khakis. Let's bring in Steve Kornacki. A wild season for the Giants and the Commanders. A game in Week 15. It doesn't get much bigger than tonight, right, Steve?
Yeah, huge stakes tonight. And on paper, look, Washington and the Giants, they come into the game with identical records here, clinging to those final 2 wild card spots in the NFC. But the trajectory for each one of these teams coming into tonight could not be more different. Let's take a look at this. What you're seeing here is the betting market from our friends at MGM BetMGM Sports and how each team's playoff chances have looked in the betting markets as the season's progressed. Basically, the higher the line is, the better chance the market thinks a team has of making the playoffs. And just look at this right here. This was mid-October. Remember, Washington started the year 1-4. If you had bet in the middle of October that Washington would make the playoffs, you would have gotten 8-1 odds. There weren't many Commander believers then, but if Washington now goes on to make the playoffs, you'd get $800 if you put $100 down back then. And you can see Washington's gone 6-1-1 since then. They are now better than even odds to make the playoffs. And meanwhile, for the Giants, totally different story. They got to 7-2. Remember, combination of luck and a hot start to the season, but since then they're winless in their last 4 games, and you can see that trend line's been moving in the wrong direction for them, and the betting markets now think it's much more likely coming into tonight that Washington's a playoff team than New York is, but obviously that could change depending on that outcome tonight.
All right, good stuff, Steve. I got to see who I'm going to pick later tonight. Steve Kornacki's helping me understand it. Meanwhile, the Commanders fans, they're playing meaningful football in December. They're excited to have Jack and Rodney hanging out with them there today.
Amen, Maria. And Maria, we got a birthday in the family this week as well. Rodney Harrison, the big 5-0. And this is what 50 looks like when all you eat is almonds and avocado. You look darn good, my friend. Hey, let's get to the enemy, though. Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones. So he's had 3 different head coaches in 4 seasons with the Giants. It's a hard combination. Coach Daboll, though, this is the same formula that got Josh Allen going in Buffalo.
He's done a great job of playing to the strengths of Daniel Jones, and he's rebuilt his confidence. And this is a designed quarterback run. We know one thing about Daniel. He's athletic and he's tough. He's not afraid. This is a great job by him putting his head down, picking up the first down, but also sitting in the pocket. Guys flying around his legs, and he's just standing in the pocket, keeping his vision down the field and throwing dimes. He's going to have to do more of that, using his legs, taking shots down the field, and spreading that ball around.
Feels good out here, doesn't it?
No, I can't even talk. My mouth is frozen.
Hey, we're in the nation's capital, and we have got massive playoff implications. Let the drum roll go. Washington and New York on Sunday Night Football.
And Washington is going to get away with one. They knock off the Packers 23-21.
Let this be a cool tradition. Just start buying J's and colorways of the teams I beat. You know, obviously now the offensive line's getting a couple pairs.
Washington is back to 500, winning in Indianapolis 17-16.
What a night. Put the undefeated Eagles out their place. Hope to see you guys soon.
Washington win a dominant performance in Houston today.
Commanders fans, big win.
We have won this game. What a tremendous effort.
I'm sure you guys got to go through another one of those games. A win's a win.
Got him. I love the fact that Taylor Heineke made up an excuse to just build his Jays collection with wins.
Right.
Okay, so he took over in Week 7. He's gone 5-1-1 with the Commanders, but he's still going to give you 1 heart attack a game.
Oh,
okay?
Yes, maybe 2.
At least.
Maybe 2. You'll never ride the roller coaster.
Could be a good heart attack or a bad heart attack because he's incredibly poised in clutch moments, but he will miss throws like this where you go, what? You're too good to miss that throw, Taylor Heineke, but it's the magic plays that stand out.
The big 4th down, running to your left, right on the money when you need it. He does this over and over.
But you said it, especially at crunch time, Simsy. His teammates believe in him.
Clutch.
Came up big against the Giants a couple weeks ago. That's been his calling card throughout his career.
Oh, no, don't throw it in the traffic.
But it is. It's a little the good and the bad you got to deal with.
Well, he's going to be dealing with some pressure here today, and how can they handle it? He was sacked 5 times in the first meeting against the Giants.
Hey, Coach, one thing I can guarantee in this ball game, the Giants are going to blitz. They're going to blitz to try to stop the run. They're going to blitz to try to pressure the quarterback. This is a couple weeks ago in overtime. They move around. They walk around. Identification is key. Communication is key. You can't let Thibodeau hit you in the middle of the back.
You got to know where he is, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so Taylor Heineke, 1 turnover and 6 of his 7 starts, but still he's getting the victories, and that's the number that Jason's keeping track of, okay?
All matters.
We're also keeping track of his J's. I mean, check them out. We've got the ones here.
I like them.
Always and forever fresh, so I like the look that we're coming in with. I also like the fact that Rodney Harrison is trying to bite his style today.
Oh, what?
Because he's in Washington. Yes.
What a groupie.
He's copying Taylor Heineke.
You're Taylor Heineke groupie, man.
Okay.
Come on,
Are those
man.
in the Haitian dunks? What's going on, Rodney?
Maria, it's cold out here. I'm trying everything I can to keep my feet warm.
You should have had your Uggs on, man.
Those are different kind of cold. Those are smooth, man. I like those.
They $300 too. I don't pay $300 for gym shoes.
I like those. I also like Heineke. I like that midseason energy he's brought. But how about Brian Robinson as well? Out of the backfield, returning week 5 already leads this team in rushing.
I love the expanded role they've given him. When he came out of college, all they said that he was a big, powerful back, 6'2", 225 pounds, but he can do it all. He can get to the edge. You see the speed outrunning the linebackers and the defensive end, but he also can catch the ball out of the backfield, and this is what he does. Defensive backs don't want to hit him. Do you want to hit a guy 6'2", 225? Look at those arms. They're the opposite of yours.
They really are. They're the polar opposite. You think about Antonio Gibson as well. He's 225 pounds. They'll bring him in, sneaky receiver out of the backfield as well. And yesterday, as part of the Season of Giving, the Commanders hosted their annual toy giveaway. Volunteers from the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation joined Washington legends. They gave away more than 2,000 toys and team gifts to local youth. Season of Giving. Good stuff.
Happy holiday.
All right, how about those games yesterday? A little NFL on a Saturday. The Vikings with the biggest comeback in NFL history against the Colts. Close your eyes, Coach. The Browns beat the Ravens, who were without Lamar Jackson yet again. And then last night, it was a snowy classic between Miami and Buffalo.
Buffalo trying to clinch a spot in the postseason for the 4th straight year. A snowball celebration.
Caught Tyreek Hill.
Miami takes the lead.
Bring on the snow. It's snowing hard now. Dawson Knox, touchdown, Buffalo.
Josh Allen leaping for 2. This game is tied.
The win hangs in the balance. The kick is up. The kick is good. The Bills go back to the playoffs. Bills win it 32-29. Amazing. Amazing.
Oh, it was a beautiful sight to watch a little bit of snow falling in December. But let's talk about the Dolphins, a 3-game losing streak. Remember, they were 8-3 before, but they went on the road. They had San Francisco, they've had the Chargers, and then the Bills. What do you make of the losing streak, and where do we rank the Dolphins right now?
Well, 3 losses, but 3 tough places to play. Their offense, to me, got going against Buffalo, so I'm encouraged. Now, those are games you have to win if you want to be a playoff team, but I was encouraged.
Yeah, I still like Miami. I like what they did against Buffalo. They ran the ball. There was more balance in their offense. Buffalo's a tough team to beat up there when the snow starts falling against that quarterback. So I still like Miami.
Yeah, they're still a young football team that's learning how to win these type of games. I'm with the coaches here. I'm positive about it. I know I wouldn't want to see them coming into town. There's all those weapons on offense, that aggressive defense. They got playmakers everywhere. I think this last little 3-game stretch will suit them, good for the playoffs at least.
I would have one suggestion for Coach McDaniel.
I know what it is.
Run the ball in the red zone. When you're averaging 8 yards a carry, please keep running it.
Hey, last 3 games for the Dolphins. They got to go to the Packers, at Pats, and then at home versus the Jets. So we'll see how they finish out this season. And, Coach, did you say run the football?
I did.
Is that what you would like to see happen with Saquon Barkley?
Come on, Saquon.
Give it to that guy.
Take quads right there.
Right.
We need him. Let's go, Big Blue.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
So the Giants defense, year 1 under defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, the longtime Ravens coach. He's improved the operation, New York. Now middle of the pack defensively, an old Wink. He brings more pressure than anybody in the National Football League.
With that pressure comes a lot of man-to-man coverage, and they're without their starting corner, Dory Jackson. And Fabian Moreau, the guy that replaced him, he struggled. This is man-to-man coverage. He's got to be able to make, this is an easy tackle on Terry McLaurin. He's got to be able to make that play. But when you're playing tight man-to-man coverage, you got to make sure that you have your eyes on your receiver. You can't take a peek back at the quarterback, lose sight. But this is the reason why Wink Martindale is so frustrated. You see him, he can't run the stable of blitzes in his repertoire because he's missing guys in the secondary.
In Washington, they have serious talent at wide receiver. So give me somebody in that secondary of New York has to have a big night.
Well, I'm looking at Julian Love, safety Julian Love. I know he played corner in college, but he's done a terrific job just being all over the field and making sure communication is okay back there.
Yeah. All-American corner he was at Notre Dame. Now they put him at safety. He leads this team, though, in tackles and interceptions as well. Do you believe in Love? Julian Love, back into you, Maria Taylor.
I believe in you guys. All right, let's get back to the highlights, or start with the highlights. Cardinals taking on the Broncos. Brett Rippon starting for Russell Wilson. He cleared concussion protocol, but Coach Hackett decided to sit him for one more game. So Broncos up 10-9. Latavius Murray running it in.
Brett Rippon gives him a little shot in the arm, and the ball to that guy getting in. Arizona continues to struggle.
Eliminated from playoff contention. In fact, Falcons taking on the Saints. NFC South, every team entered Week 15 with a losing record. But here we go. Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, Andy Dalton played great. It was the arm, his right arm of Andy Dalton that really kind of carried them early on. The Falcons made a late charge, running the ball really well. Unfortunate right here. Desmond Ridder throws a nice little slant route. Drake London fumbles.
Yeah, the rookie Desmond Ridder making his first career start, but the Saints get that recovery and hold on to win it 21-18. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers on the road taking on the Panthers. Panthers in control of their own destiny here. Pick it out with concussion. Najee Harris taking it to the bank.
The little physical run here, that's Pittsburgh football that I'm used to seeing.
Defense and run the ball, Coach.
Okay, let's talk about defense then.
Yep, and they brought it. Carolina, golden opportunity to make up some ground on Tampa. Could not do it today. Very disappointing for the Panthers.
Yeah, missed opportunity. The Bucs down 34-17 right now, late against Cincy. Still more to come on Football Night in America. And yes, Brian Daboll and the Giants have struggled lately, but overall, their season's been a success, thanks in part to their first-year head coach, who's quickly becoming a fan favorite.
I'm causing mayhem.
Sunday Night Mayhem, presented by Allstate.
Brian Daboll, in his coaching debut, has beaten the Titans.
Do you think the Giants have the right guy? I do.
Great execution, great communication, great teamwork.
I just appreciate all the support.
The Giants are going to win the football game.
You got what it takes. You don't waver.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood. And by Ford. Built for America.
Football Night in America continues from FedEx Field. There's Daniel Jones, the quarterback of the Giants, his fourth year, his fifth-year option not picked up. So in the next month, maybe he's playing for his future as a Giant or with other teams. Of course, the Giants and the Commanders, both 7-5-1, played the 2020 tie a couple of weeks ago. So a huge Final Four games for these teams, with the Lions winning. Pressure on the team that loses. It'll only be a half game ahead of Detroit. Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, backfield, both drafted back-to-back years in the top 10 in the draft, but both without contracts for next year. Not only are they playing the most significant games as Giants, but very significant games for their future with the Giants or beyond. We'll see if they can find the offense to beat Washington coming up. Chris Collinsworth joins me at the end of what's been an incredible week that even got crazier about 3 minutes ago. Maria, show us what just happened in Vegas.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. I mean, we still can't believe it. We were in here sitting here watching the Raiders taking on the Patriots. And let's just go to the last play of the game. You see the Pats here trying to get one more playoff. We're all tied up. Mac Jones giving it to Jacoby Myers, and he decides that he's going to throw it.
They're just trying to lateral it and go down and maybe score a touchdown. Jacoby Myers has been around the league, though, coaches, and he decides to throw it all the way across the field in the tie football game.
What are you even thinking?
Chandler Jones gets the
payback.
Pick six.
Payback for the old squad.
Game's over.
Talk about a plane ride that you don't want to be on.
Oh, my gosh. Don't sit next to Bill Belichick on the plane ride home.
All right, I'd rather walk home, but ultimately it's the Raiders who get the victory over the Patriots. We all thought that we were headed into overtime. We'll have more on this game a little bit later. Want to get you caught up in what we've already seen. Eagles taking on the Bears. Jalen Hurts clinched a playoff berth with his Eagles last week, entering the day leading the race for the #1 seed. Second quarter, Jalen Hurts, why is it wide open?
Well, they tried to blitz against him, and then someone went in the wrong gap. You can't do that against Jalen.
No, you can't.
3 rushing touchdowns on the day. Justin Fields, he was sacked 6 times in this
And
one.
might have been sacked 12 if it had been a normal quarterback. He ran away from a lot of sacks.
He did.
No, you surprising, but the Eagles just win it by 5, but they're 1 win away from clinching that #1 seed in the NFC. Cowboys taking on the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence on a roll here. Let's go to the 4th quarter. Jag down 4. Lawrence, strike.
Just strike. You said it right. It was strikes all over the 4th quarter. I mean, an unbelievable comeback. Down 27-10, and they rode the right arm of the big guy right here, and you could tell he's pumped.
That's right. They trailed by 17, like you said, but the Cowboys, they're not done. Prescott looking for Noah Brown.
Oh, the offense was phenomenal with the Cowboys throughout the day. And then here in a gotta-have-it moment, Dak marched them right down the field and made some big plays.
Okay, 17 seconds left. Lawrence finding Ingram. He fights his way out of bounds. That's important.
Play of the day right here to save the timeout. Yes, so he's out of bounds. That allows them now. They can throw the ball down the middle of the field the next play, Maria.
Yes, and the next play, there it is. What do you think it is? A strike again to Zay Jones.
And then I think the big thing is just the body positioning he's in there, right, JG?
Talking about threading the needle there.
Right? I mean, it went right through the defender's hands. Big field goal, tie game.
Yeah, that's a 48-yard field goal. That's good. So let's go ahead and head to overtime. NOT, Cowboys near midfield. So Dak Prescott getting an opportunity, but the pass is tipped and intercepted.
Yeah, he does a great job of making an awkward throw and just gets a little unlucky. Noah Brown should have came down with it. Instead, he pops it up in the air, and it's a pick 6.
Yeah, Rayshon Jenkins goes 52 yards for the touchdown and the win. Jaguars get their 4th win in the last 6 games, still in the AFC South race. Check out this celebration. Gotta be excited.
Oh, man. Beat the Cowboys, young football team, learn how to win, right?
Yes, they were down 17. The Jaguars had to score 21 straight points to just stay in the game, but it was the cool head of Trevor Lawrence making plays down the stretch that was thoroughly impressive.
It was about the quarterback. The competitive spirit and the playmaking ability of this guy was off the charts. He threw 4 touchdowns and he made a ton of other plays. This is him out on the move, on the run, throwing the double move to Zay Jones. Zay Jones caught 3 touchdowns in this game. It was a tough combination all day long for Dallas.
This play right here, JG.
This was a huge play here. This is the run late in the game on the drive that was going to hopefully give them a chance to tie it up. He fumbles, but then he comes back on the subsequent drive and makes a ton of plays with his feet.
How about this throw?
Oh, what? Right through the hands.
We still can't believe that one went through, but you got to give a hats off to Trevor Lawrence. 15 total touchdowns, 1 interception in the last 6 games.
Maria, I have to go back to us at the Hall of Fame game.
Sure.
Josh Allen, their great edge rusher, told me on the field, you're going to see us. We're going to be better than people think because of Coach Peterson and what he's brought, and I believe he's right.
You can see that they're believing. It takes that to be able to come back down 17.
A huge part of this thing is mental toughness. You're down 17. You have the fumble late. The quarterback's mental toughness is contagious throughout the team. Doug Peterson has them believing down there in Duval.
Yeah, they're still celebrating, I'm sure, in that locker room.
Hey,
all
Trevor.
right, it's time for a PFT update brought to you by Google Pixel. Mike Florio, you spoke with Rayshon Jenkins after the win.
Yeah, and we talked about that game-winning pick 6 that he had, and here's where coaching and understanding the opponent's tendencies are extremely valuable. He said to me, in situations like that, Cowboys, short yardage, 3rd and 4, they understand the Cowboys like to do the mesh concept, the underneath route. You can see at the start of the play, he starts to follow Ezekiel Elliott. He stays put. He gets the bounce. He takes off. And he said, at that point, all I was thinking was, number 1, score a touchdown. Number 2, don't let any of those fast Cowboys receivers catch up with you.
All right, Florio, I hope you got a present for us over there. It seems to be a lot. All right.
Uh-oh.
We got an alert. The Chargers.
Christmas present for the Jaguars?
Yeah, field goal to win it. Now the Jags just 1 game behind in the division because the Titans lost.
Wow.
Man, it's getting tight there.
We'll have the
Justin
full
Herbert,
highlights
clutch.
a little bit later. Yes.
This is what happens when we get together.
How about this? Wow.
Oh, my. Gorgeous.
Yeah. Another one.
Together.
Let's be some bad boys.
Jones
Fires it. Sparks for the touchdown. A 37-yard bomb.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
All right, let's see what jerseys made their way to Washington.
LT.
LT's in the building.
Oh, Brent Ritter. Super Bowl 26.
Mark. Ooh, I love it.
Oh, big hat. Oh, yeah.
I love them too much. Time for BetMGM with Sims and Barry.
All right, it's BetMGM breakdown time. This guy's a Commander fan. I'm a Giant fan. I want to just kind of beat him up right now on live TV, but I won't, okay?
Try it.
All right, rumor
it's the
has
Commanders'
it.
night. Yeah, what do we got?
Rumor has it you like the running back, the guy that started that big hat style, Brian Robinson.
Yeah, big hat Brian Robinson going to have a big game tonight as well. Look, he's getting the work, right? At least 20 touches in 3 of the last 4 games for Brian Robinson. He's had at least 85 rushing yards in 3 of the last 4 games, including 96 against these Giants just 2 weeks ago. So you think about how this matchup plays out. The defense is really struggling for the Giants.
Yes,
They've allowed 160 rushing yards in 4 straight games. Brian Robinson gets at least 70 rushing yards tonight.
Yeah, I hear you here. I mean, it's an unbelievable story, Brian Robinson, and the run game of Washington the last few weeks has been dominant. To your point, Matthew Berry, look at this against the Giants just 2 weeks ago. Blockers on all the bodies, and then he gets some tough yards down the field. Between that, running the football, and then I am a little worried about the Giants play man-to-man against those receivers. A little scary tonight.
Yeah, 100%, especially given how banged up the Giants secondary is. No Adoree Jackson again tonight. So Terry McLaurin, who's had at least 90 receiving yards against these Giants the last 3 games with Taylor Heineke under center, gets at least 70 tonight. That run game sets up play action.
Yeah.
Hey, little bet between me and you. Team that wins, the other loser has to wear a big hat on this show.
I like where your head's at.
That's
okay,
right.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
With
now.
my hairline, I need big hats.
Yeah, you do. That's right. All right. New BetMGM customers can sign up and bet $10 on any NFL game to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with bonus code NBC150.
Hail the
Back to you,
Commanders.
Maria.
Yeah, the loser's wearing the big hat. All right, let's talk about the Washington turnaround. A big reason for it has to be their D-line. We're talking about Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, who've combined for 16 sacks on the season. And this week, I caught up with the fellow first-rounders who've been dominating ever since their days back in Tuscaloosa. Hold on, wait right there. Wait right there. I got walk-up music for y'all.
Oh, we got some walk-up music? I knew it.
Here comes Alabama.
All right, guys, I had to play Alabama's fight song when you came in because that's like the origin story of this dynamic duo. How would you describe the relationship you built over those 2 years in college?
I think it's dynamic. I think when you play with somebody for as long as we have, it's easy to play off each other because I know how Payne rushes and he knows how I rush, so you just built that bond.
Describe Jonathan's playing style.
Oh, he got the hump move. He gonna throw it every play.
Can you show it to me?
It's like, and then it's just Payne's like a dancing bear, man. When you get a dude 315 and agile, teams don't know how to deal with it. They try to really muscle up with Payne, and he's athletic enough to just go right around you.
A tremendous play.
Let's talk about the attention that you guys are getting and the way that you're playing the game right now.
I love the stage. It seems like every game is a big game for us, and something about big games just make me want to play harder. This is only the second time I've played meaningful football in December. Guys who have been here a long time, this is a special moment. We got to win this one.
I can't do anything better than you.
You know. You ever seen those couples games where you got to like raise your hand if you're the one?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so who's the most annoying?
I'll take that one. I like to joke around. I'll take that one.
Who wins a 40-yard dash?
Oh, me. I'm taking that. I win the 20-yard dash, though.
You win the 20-yard dash?
I win the 20. He's not winning that either.
Who can deadlift more?
Oh, Payne, me.
Who's better looking?
I'm saying. You see this head?
Okay, guys, so the holidays are coming up. I couldn't come empty-handed.
It better not be something Georgia related.
Oh, I would never do that to y'all. Stop. Why would I do
right
that?
now?
Yeah.
Bro, how did I know? I already knew. I seen it
Why don't we
coming.
pull it out?
That's crazy. I was really thinking about giving you a gift, too, and you came out like this.
What a jerk you are. You're such a troll.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, right.
I mean, I showed up with gifts, and Christmas is right around the corner, so I felt good about it. You know, it's not a gift to have to line up against those two, okay? They had 3 sacks against the Giants in their first meeting, so really, how do you slow them down if you can, Coach?
Well, Coach Brian Dable of the Giants, he knows that they're going to line up in here and they're going to crush this pocket. So if I leave Daniel Jones right in there, that's going to be a problem. We're going to have a tough time handling those guys. So what do? Get him out of that pocket. Put a little edge blocking here. Yep. Get him out here away from these big guys and let him create. And I think we're going to see a lot of this tonight. This is where Daniel Jones is going to shine with his options, right? Throw to guys on the run or keep the ball himself and create.
That's right.
Limit drop back passing, move the quarterback, get away from those guys. They're great against the run. They're disruptive rushing the passer. I don't want any part of them.
Don't mess with them. And the Giants' formula all year has been Saquon up the middle, Daniel Jones, quarterback design runs on the edge, or the bootlegs, like Coach is saying, high percentage passes, and his ability to run is underrated. People don't realize how good he is at tucking it away.
Yeah, and I asked Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne about mobile quarterbacks. They just looked at each other and said, we hate it. We absolutely hate it. Okay, one thing I wanted you guys all to know is that Jonathan Allen, he's the pre-game speech giver for the team, and so I tried to get him to give us a pre-game speech for the show, so I wanted you to watch.
What I would say to all you guys is how you do anything is how you do everything.
Okay.
Coach Dungy, you don't brush your teeth the right way in the morning, it's going to translate to how you cast the game on Sunday Night Football. So make your bed in the morning, make sure you eat properly, and again, how you do anything is how you do everything.
You got it, Coach? Brush your teeth the right way.
Trained by Coach Saban.
You got it,
I was going to say, I know he's too young to have played for me, but it sounds like he's heard that speech. I used to say that to my guys.
That's what I'm saying. The maturity is shown. That's why they're having success this season. All right, let's get you back to the highlights. We've got the Chiefs taking on the Texans. It's a tie game in the fourth quarter, Jason. Final 2 minutes. Patrick Mahomes, 14-yard rush.
Texans gave him everything he could handle, but look at this guy. He does it so many different ways. Got sneaky scrambling ability, and he is a playmaker, as we all know.
Yeah, he set up this 51-yard field goal attempt from Harrison Butker, but no good. He also missed a PAT earlier in the game.
Man, shocking. Butker has usually been Mr. Automatic for them, but not this year.
Yeah, so that means we're headed to overtime. So Davis Mills, QB for the Houston Texans. He's going to scramble, looking to make a play a little bit out of the pocket, fumbles.
Defense shows up. Davis Mills out in space, coming out of the stack. They knock it out. Kansas City takes advantage.
Yeah, it actually goes in between someone else's legs. Willie Gay is able to pull it in, holds onto it for the Chiefs, and then they get an opportunity to make a play. So on the very next play, it's Jerick McKinnon, who already had a touchdown on the day, looking for his second, 26 yards, will be good to go to the bank.
How about this? The Chiefs run it in to end the ball game.
Say what? Say what, Coach?
What?
Run it in.
Oh, interesting.
Doesn't happen a whole lot.
7th straight AFC West title for the Chiefs with that win. The Bengals taking on the Buccaneers. Joey B, or it's
Tommy B.
Yeah. Bucks led it 17-0 in the second quarter, but then it's all Burrow and Bengals.
Yeah, they came back, but I don't know if it's really give the credit to the Bengals and Burrow. Yes, they capitalized, but man, Coach Dungy's going to show you all the mistakes the Bucs made here in a second. But you know, you give this guy too many opportunity with these weapons, he's going to score touchdowns.
Yeah, you saw it going to T. Higgins. We see Tyler Boyd. So why don't we get it to Jamar Chase?
Hey, just spread it around. And Chase did not have a huge day. This was a tough day for the Bengals offense, but they got it done on the road.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns for Burrow, 200 yards, but a lot of mistakes by the Buccaneers, 4 turnovers for Tom Brady. What were the miscues that you saw?
Bucks played a great first half, but then in the second half, some of the mistakes that they had shown throughout the course of the season showed up. Fake punt, everybody gets it, but Gio Bernard, the up back, ball snapped to him, he doesn't get it. Now, just a routine handoff to Leonard Fournette. They've done this a million times, fumbled another short field.
Uncharacteristic of Tom Brady with these turnovers in the second half. They were up 17-3 with 13 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they lost 34-23. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Bengals are good. Bengals are good, and they're the best team in the AFC
They're really good if you give them 8 short fields.
Forget about it, yeah.
Well, you also saw the highlight with the Kansas City Chiefs kind of biting their nails towards the end of that game, but Mike Florio spoke with Patrick Mahomes after their win and sealing up the division again.
Well, we see so many things that Patrick Mahomes does, and we call it artistry. He has a different term for it. He calls it panic mode. The throw that Chris showed you earlier, the jump shot, the hook shot, that's just make something happen, get it done however it takes. He started rattling off other panic mode plays. Last week's throw to Jerick McKinnon, his left-handed throw. Some of his best work was a result of panic mode, and they practice it. Guys get open. He does whatever he has to do to get him the ball, and he said to me, I've always viewed myself as a competitor more than a quarterback. Sometimes it doesn't look right, but it works. Here's what else works. 20 straight completions to end the game. He's 5 short of the record. He said, that doesn't sound like me. Probably it's a one-time thing.
I love it, like the insight. If my panic mode was 4 touchdowns responsible for it and 336 yards, I wouldn't be here with you guys. But we still got our matchup coming here tonight. The Commanders and the Giants.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
So Daniel Jones now in year 4 out of Duke. And with Brian Daboll as a mentor, it's been the most memorable season of his young career. On the other side, Taylor Heinicke, undrafted out of Old Dominion, and he has found a home in Washington. 5 wins since taking over for Carson Wentz. Let's take you on the field, presented by Hyundai. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, they call him. The voice that resonates in that Washington locker room, and he torched the Giants right there before the bye week.
Absolutely, that's one of my favorite players, and he played with 9 different quarterbacks in his short career, and he's still putting up big numbers. He also told me he expects to be double covered tonight, and he said his other receivers, they have to win those one-on-one battles.
Kayvon Thibodeau, the Giants' 5th overall pick out of Oregon, played one of his best games round 1 against Washington.
He's a solid player for the Giants. He plays fast, he plays hard, but when I watch him on film, he doesn't do anything that really necessarily overwhelms you. He'll have a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and we'll see if he can get to the quarterback.
I saw you walking around, connecting with everybody. What'd you hear as these teams get set for kickoff?
Well, obviously, Scary Terry told me that they're going to be double-teaming him, so other guys don't have to step up.
Yeah, and they even showed a Cowboys highlighted the Cowboys losing. Whole place went nuts, Giants fans included.
Brother, it's cold, it's windy, and whoever can run the ball tonight will win the game.
Sometimes those common enemies can bring these guys together. Back into you, Maria.
Roddy's like, I don't care who won. I'm cold and I forgot my gloves.
For the weather update.
Okay, Lions and Jets both fighting to get into the playoffs. Mike White sidelined with a rib injury, so Zach Wilson back in after being benched for 3 games. 4th quarter, Jets down 3. Wilson looking and finding his rookie Garrett Wilson for 33 yards.
Zach can make plays now. Dynamic arm, throwing the ball down the field. Has the Jets driving late.
Yeah, it was a PI, but he still made the catch. Now facing 3rd and goal. Wilson play action to C.J. Uzomah.
Big time. Jets go ahead. Wilson was big on that drive from the pocket and on the move.
Yeah, he finished with 317 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lions down 4. 4th and inches for Jared Goff to Brock Wright. 51 yards and a touchdown.
It's the old shoot screen. Play action one way, throw it back to the tight end on the drag. A big-time play for Dan Campbell's Lions.
A huge one for Jared Goff and Brock Wright. Jets facing 4th and 18. Some shaky clock management. We'll get to that. But Wilson scrambles, finds Elijah Moore for 18 yards on this play.
He's got playmaking ability. Give the Jets one last chance. Elijah Moore, a big-time catch. He should go down as quickly as he can. They call timeout. They got 1 second to go and one last chance.
Yep, they got to the Lions 40 with that 1 second. Greg Zuerlein, the 58-yard field goal for the tie is missed. Wide left. So that's the Lions' 3rd straight win. They've now won 6 of the last 7. Perfect execution and that 2-minute warning. Mike White can't believe it on the sidelines as they fall. Tennessee Titans taking on the Chargers. Ryan Tannehill trying to snap a 3-game losing streak out in L.A. Pick it up late in the 4th. Tennessee down 7. Tannehill looking for his tight end.
Yeah, he was hurt, came back in the game, led this drive to get them in position to tie the game up.
Yeah, 3 plays later, Tannehill, he's going to take it, sneak for the game-tying touchdown.
An assist from Derrick Henry.
That'll work. 48 seconds still left in regulations, though. The Chargers, they're going to take advantage. Justin Herbert just unleashing one to Mike Williams.
Incredible play on the move, out of the pocket, right on the money to Williams. You can't coach that.
You can't.
You're not coaching.
Jason Garrett, say it with me. Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker coming through one more time for the lightning bolt.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right there.
Yes, 43 yards and it's good. Chargers escape with the win. Started the day outside of the playoffs. Now the 6th seed in the AFC. Bill Belichick taking on his former assistant and Josh McDaniels. Second half, the Raiders up 14. Derek Carr's pass is intercepted.
Controlling the game, just a stay pass. Looking to get a drive started, get some cheap yards. Duggar does a great job picking it off. Pick 6.
Yeah, 4th quarter pass down 1. It's Ramondre Stevenson. He had 117 yards rushing in
this guy is a player. He can run with power. He can break your ankles. Made a lot of big runs in the 2nd half. And now the Raiders are down, Maria, and you're going, well, Belichick and the Patriots won't blow this lead.
Of course not.
There's 30 seconds left. How do you get one-on-one in the back of the end zone behind someone?
I don't know either, Coach. There's a lot of plays we could question that, and I just still don't know if he was definitely in bounds there, but they gave him the touchdown.
It was reviewed and confirmed. Someone help me understand this play here.
There's no understanding this.
3 seconds left. Stevenson on the run. Breaks free.
Do it.
Lateral to Jacoby Myers. Then it's picked off by Chandler Jones. What? There's no way to explain it, but the 48-yard touchdown is good from Jones, so that means it's a walk-off win for the Las Vegas Raiders. McDaniels is 2-0 versus Bill Belichick, and Las Vegas has won 4 of their last 5 games. That's the second time we've seen them with that walk-off win. They stay in playoff contention. Time now for the Sunday Night Game Flow presented by Progressive. Chris?
All right, well,
Just kidding. Let's talk about that matchup that we just saw, and especially that final play.
Maria, I sat here for 10 years with Rodney Harrison sitting right there. Rodney telling me how much the Patriots practice situational football. Now you've got 30 seconds left in the game, one-on-one deep pass, get behind you, and then that I don't know what's happening. That's just a draw, run the clock out, and go to overtime. What are they thinking?
Well, I think the players went rogue on Coach Belichick. It was a draw play.
Yeah.
And I think when they made the yards, they had this idea that maybe we can throw it around and make a play. But how about Chandler Jones, the former Patriot, making the interception, stiff-arming Max Jones?
You can't make it up.
No, we can't give him any credit. How do you throw the ball backwards 20 yards when the game is tied?
Well, ultimately, it's the Raiders that walk away with the win. A very unpatriotic-like game. You like that, right? Yes. Let's go back to the Lions and Jets. Chris, now it's your turn. Take a closer look at the Detroit game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, let's get we got a little progressive game flow here action. And with the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, right? Been phenomenal all year. But the play design, making you think, hey, we're going to throw the ball out there to the right and then fake Brock Wright blocking down the line of scrimmage, sneaking out the backside there. But here it's the design of the play that's so great. Again, get the fast flow, fast defense of the Jets to go this way. They trick C.J. Mosley on the backside. He's too over-aggressive. And now we got Wright running up the field for a touchdown. Really a phenomenal play design and play all together in a big moment by the Detroit Lions, Maria.
All right, that was the Sunday Night Game Flow presented by Progressive. Now we got to make sense of it all. Make it make sense, Steve Kornacki. What does it mean for the AFC wildcard race?
Yeah, trying to make sense of that lateral attempt from the Patriots there. But boy, was that consequential when it comes to the AFC wildcard race, because you can look at this. The Pats came into today in the 7th spot in the AFC with a 42% chance of making the playoffs. Had they won the game against the Raiders, that number would have gone up. Instead, they get beat, as you just shown. They fall out of the top 7 now to the 8th spot, and you see the Patriots, their playoff chances cut almost in half now, barely 20% for New England. They're the biggest loser on the day when it comes to the AFC wildcard, and the biggest winner on the day, it's the Chargers. They pull out that last-second victory. They came into today out of the top 7 with barely a 50% chance. They vault over Miami, remember who they beat last week, now nearly an 80% chance that the Chargers go to the playoffs. Let's take a look at the 4 teams here hovering right around those final 2 spots and what they've got left on their schedule. And you can see the Chargers not only in the 6th spot, not only moving up today. Look who they got. The Colts, the Rams, the Broncos, not a team with a winning record in sight. Certainly a clear path there for the Chargers to nail down a playoff berth. Why that probability is so high for them. The Dolphins, notably, they got the 2 teams chasing them, the Patriots and the Jets, after they play the Packers next week. The problem for the Pats, boy, a tough one against Cincy next week, and they close out the season in Orchard Park against a Bills team that could be playing for the top seed in the AFC. So really needed that one today. The Pats did. The Jets, if there's good news for them, it's this. They close the season at Miami. Remember, they already beat Miami once this year. If they could beat Miami again and do a little damage in the other 2 games, the Jets, perhaps that's why the number's a little higher than the Pats. The Jets with a better shot here than the Pats of getting to that top 7.
All right, thanks, Steve. Let's stick with those Jets. They lose with Zach Wilson's return, but Mike Florio, what's the latest on the timeline for Mike White since they have that Thursday night game coming up?
Yeah, Mike White has a broken rib, and his timeline is week to week, and I'm told it's unlikely this week, Thursday night, short week game against the Jaguars. That rib needs to calcify. It needs to hold in place. Otherwise, it could get dislodged. It could puncture a lung. That's why the doctors wouldn't let him play on Sunday. My understanding is it's unlikely he's going to get medical clearance to play against the Jaguars on Thursday.
All right, thanks for the update, Mike. It's time now for the Sunday Night 7 featuring a $100,000 jackpot. Matthew, how many total yards and touchdowns for Saquon Barkley?
Well, I think Saquon Barkley is going to struggle a little bit. Now, he's healthy. He's going to get a big workload here, but Washington wants to shut him down. touchdown. Remember, Barkley's been held to under 55 total yards in 3 of his past 4 games, so the option I'm choosing is the under 80 yards, total yards there on Sunday Night 7. Now, of course, Sunday Night 7 also wants to know how many touchdowns for Saquon, and I will say he gets into the end zone once. So give me number 1 there. He's scored in 4 of the past 6 games. Washington has allowed a rushing touchdown in 3 of their past 4 games. When we return, a wild weekend and what it means for the playoffs. Come on back.
A legendary call by Andreas Cantor. That's how we started out our Week 15. We have to take a look at the best of Week 15 brought to you by MetaQuest. Argentina! Jason, let's start with the Jags win over the Cowboys.
Trevor Lawrence, unbelievable. They were down 17. Trevor Lawrence was on fire. Rayshon Jenkins made the play of the game.
Yes, impressive. They're still celebrating in Duval.
Look at Doug.
Congratulations, Coach Peterson. Meanwhile, remember Brady was up 17-zip, and then all we saw Joe Burrow do was throw 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. Go ahead and get the victory. Tom Brady had 4 turnovers in this game, and Cincy rolled right out of Tampa Bay.
Whoa, Maria, guys, we had a crazy finish, and one reason was because of that guy. That's a laser beam down the sideline, touchdown. I mean, big play, Chargers sets up the field goal to go ahead. And then what is going on in the world of situational football with Bill Belichick and the Patriots right here? I don't know. We all went crazy watching this live. Jacoby Myers throwing the ball backwards. Chandler Jones getting revenge on his old squad, going in for a touchdown.
Watch out, the Detroit Lions are on fire. 6 out of the last 7. Big 4th down and 1. Well-designed play to take the lead, and then the defense closed it out for the Lions.
It was an impressive win. They are now 6-1 after starting 1-6, and that was the best of Week 15 brought to you by MetaQuest. Wish for the extraordinary and playoffs. Lions, are we talking playoffs? Head coach Dan Campbell, what do you think?
It can happen, you know. Just do your job, and you know, you can't hone in on what if we don't, what if we don't, you know, now what if we don't make this play, or what if we get, no, you just go make the play. Line up and cut it loose.
Oh, you've been cutting it loose, Coach Campbell, and those Lions. They haven't made the playoffs since 2016, but how dangerous would this team be if they did?
I think they'd be very dangerous. They had been cutting it loose on offense, scoring a lot of points all year, but it's just recently the defense has picked up the pace. They've got some pass rushers there. I wouldn't want to play them.
Coach, Dan and I were teammates for 3 years. As tough and gritty a guy as I've ever been around, that's how his team is playing right now. They got a real shot.
Yeah, they're in the playoff picture for the NFC, and speaking of that, a massive game here tonight. Steve Kornacki set us up, help us understand the implication.
Yeah, Maria, massive in terms of, according to our data partners at PFF, this is the biggest single swing game for playoff probability we've seen all year. Commanders, Giants clinging to the last 2 spots here in the NFC playoff picture. Here's what I mean by swing. If Washington wins, 91% shot they're going to the playoffs. Lose tonight, though, falls all the way down to 38%, a 53-point difference. And if the Giants win this game tonight, similar story, 88% chance they have of going to the playoffs. If they lose, tumbles all the way down 57 points to just 31%. So the stakes for each team could not be higher. The stakes maybe not just high for these teams, by the way. I don't mean to single out anybody in this studio, but I do want to mention it was 1 week ago tonight that everybody on Sunday Night Football had to make a prediction, and it was the Dolphins and the Chargers. And it seems like there was consensus. And we all know how that one ended up for the 5th time in the history of this program. Everybody went with one team, and then the other team won. So a big decision for my colleagues tonight when it comes to Washington and the Giants. And thank God I don't have my name on there, by the way.
You take your khakis and you get out of here, all right? You need to make some picks. Time now for the home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. Stick around, Steve. I want you to make one. Jack?
Maria, I used to like those khakis. 57% of the country's on Washington. 2 teams that tied just 14 days ago. Fast rematch. And Washington's D-line, they have made this top 10 defense. I like the way Taylor Heineke, though. He just lets that great wide receiver room shine. I'm on the home team.
I'm looking at the Commanders defensively, and they have to do a better job of keeping Daniel Jones in the pocket, not letting him move around. I like the Commanders. You see these guys? This is why I like the Commanders.
With fans like that, I'm good with. How about you, Florio?
Hey, Ron Rivera, the coach of the Commanders, has done an amazing job this year. So many issues well documented. He has kept that team together, and they've gotten better and better all year long. I like the Commanders tonight, man.
Not just Ron Rivera, but how about offense coordinator Scott Turner, who has created sustained drives throughout all this winning. They lead the league in, or one of the league leaders in time of possession. Hail the Commanders. You know I'm taking my team. Sims, who you got?
Well, that Commanders D-line is special. The way they're running the football, and then the weapons that Taylor Heineke has, I'm going Commanders tonight.
I love the wind-up from Barry when we all knew he was taking the Commanders, but I'm going Commanders, too.
Hey, Saquon's got to touch it 25 times. DJ's legs have to come alive. Scott Turner's been great in complimentary football. It's about Washington's defensive line and their skill. I take the Commanders.
Oh, God, guys.
Matthew gave us all those stats of how Washington is going to dominate, but I'm taking the Giants. Giants should have won the first game. Should have won the first game. I think they'll bounce back.
Those are tonight's top team picks brought to you by Lowe's. You will not troll us. The stage is set. Get ready for kickoff with C at the half. Enjoy the game.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes. Or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.